Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the first day of spring. We don't call it spring around here. We don't call it September either. We call it Songtember. And yes, I know if you're in the past, if you're in another part of the world, it's only the 31st, and you're like, "Oh, it's not quite. Do I have to start yet?" No, you don't. What is Songtember? What is it all about? Why did I call you all here? If you've been around this channel for a few years, you know everything about Songtember. But if you haven't, we're going to tell you everything that you need to know, all the stuff that you need to get ready for, to prepare for, to create, record, and release a song in the month of Songtember. And as we've done in previous years, I don't like being by myself all the time. I thought I'd bring in two of my best musical buddies along for the ride. And without any further ado, I'm just going to throw them both on the stage because you know what? They're on the thumbnail, so there's really no surprise here. Please welcome back to Studio Live today, Thomas Christ and Jade Star. Hello, folks.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. See, I brought Jade on so she can do the sound effects because she knows I'm way too lazy.
That's all I'm good for.
Reach over and press a button. Welcome to Songtember. A few things. Happy birthday, Jade. 1st of September.
Thank you.
It's Jade's
Thank
birthday. You're a full deck of cards now, so that's a good thing. Just a couple
52
of jokers.
today.
52 today. And welcome back to Thomas Christ. Been a while since you've been on the channel, my friend, but always good to see you. And the reason I asked these two to come on here is that they are absolute Songtember veterans. So if you've got any questions about Songtember, these are the folks to ask. But we do have some new people that have joined us this year. It's their first Songtember, and they may be looking at the three of us going, I don't actually know who you are and what you do around here. So I'm going to make you do the usual thing, which is the around the grounds. I'm going to ask Tom for you to tell us the Thomas Christ story in under 30, well, I'll give you 60 seconds. What's the 1 minute elevator pitch of who you are and what you do around these parts?
Well, I've been recording industrial music since my parents' basement in 1999, and been on and on again, off again, recorded like 18 albums, and then I started up a YouTube channel where I now not only do a live performance most weekends, but on Wednesdays I play everybody's music on the U-Rock show, and yeah, that's kind of been the really short version of my evolution.
That is. It is hard for. I did say to the folks, by the way, we're aiming for an hour-long show today, which means we'll probably go for like an hour and a half plus because that's how we roll. We all like to talk in this community, and I'll fill in the other half, which is that Thomas won't say this because he's too humble, but he's absolutely the greatest moderator in the history of online independent music. So
The king.
He supports me and Jade, and I like to think that Jade and I encouraged Tom to do this sort of stuff when he was a moderator of our channels, and we said, hey, guess what, you got a voice, you got stuff to say, you got stuff to do, you can do all this stuff too. And it's been wonderful over the last sort of 5 years that we've been doing Songtember. We've seen Tom go from chat member to moderator to live streamer to creator. He wears all the hats now, so wonderful to have you on board as always, Tom. The one and only Jade Star needs no introduction, but I'm going to let her give herself one anyway. Jade, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Can I just say first, not only is Thomas super talented and a great moderator and all that stuff, he is one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet.
No.
All right?
That's true.
So he's amazing. Now, let me tell you about me. Hi, I'm Jade. I'm a musician. I'm now a YouTube content creator, and guess what? I've got metrosexual lighting. You can call it omnisexual.
I've not heard metrosexual since the 90s.
Pansexual, omnisexual, whatever you want to call it. It's blue, and it means I'm an official YouTube streamer. I like to make music. I like to make weird music, and I like to lift people up, and I like to have fun and entertain, and that's me in a nutshell. And I love Songtember because it's a great chance for me to make music, show you my process, and see all the great stuff that you make. So, let's oge.
Let's do this thing. Very cool. I know. See, Jay brings a bit of polish to the show. So yes, the camera there. We'll say good day to the folks who are here live in just a jiffy. We're also going to tell you what Songtember actually is, how you can get involved, and all of that logistical stuff. We're going to hear from Jade and Tom about their past experiences with Songtember. We're going to hear their last year's Songtember songs, and we're going to get their tips and advice for you for completing your song in a month. So Songtember, I'll give myself the same 60 seconds to explain this. 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, I decided that we should all create, record, and release a song in the month of September. I volunteered to record it all and do it all on my channel. So I do the songwriting, I do the recording, I do the mixing, I do the mastering, I do the releasing, and we do it all between the 1st of September and the 30th of September. I invite you to come along and do the same. And the beauty of it is that as a community, we share, we support, we lift each other up throughout the month. And regardless of whether you've created one song ever or no songs ever in your life, or you're a 100,000 song veteran, you'll still benefit from being around here and hanging out with the cool group of people that we have, sharing and caring. So remember, sharing is caring and Sharon is Karen. Should we say good day to these fine folks that have decided to rock up? Am I speaking? Am I speaking 2x? Yes, that's the old me. That's if you heard 5 years ago, I used to talk very high and very fast, and I got very excited. I think so. Maybe I'm channeling that there. Let's say good day, Jenny Jolivet. Hello to Roblox Bacon Hair, the one and only Christopher Rossi. We got Skeeter Melody. We got Dan Ekberg, who's saying Hubs. So I'm assuming we have Gary Hubs. We've got Lastifility. Failed to do a song every Songtember. Well, this is your year, I'm just saying. Barry Glenn, which means Joe Glenn's usually not far behind. We've got Jerry Gomes here. There is the one and only Gary Hubs who's clicking in here. We've got Laurie's Mishmosh, Brad McLaughlin. We've got Danny Gable. There's too many names here. I'm going to run out of energy. So we've got Tremor Bear, who is here. We've got the one and only Papa, Tom Caraher. We've got Gregory O'Sullivan, who's definitely only goes by that one name. We'll never disclose his other artist name. No one would ever do that live on a show. We've got Paying to Get. We've got Scott Kid 64 Ultimate. We've got Andy Spain. We've got Al Davis Music. And we've probably got other people here. If you're here, don't worry. You have plenty of time to contribute and to let us know. Because I'd love to throw it out there. And if those in the chat here, let us know what number Songtember is this for you. Because for some of you, it'll be number 1. And for some, it'll be number 6. Because this is the 6th anniversary of Songtember that we're doing here today. So we are now going to go around the grounds here with our folks, with our Songtember veterans that we have. And we'll start with you, Thomas Christ, because
right.
what number Songtember is this for you, my friend?
This will be number 6.
This will be 6. So you've participated in every year. What are your highlights and lowlights? Tom, what does Songtember mean to you?
Well, Songtember just means it's kind of fallen into a pattern of like I'm working on an album that's not getting finished, and then Songtember comes and at least it kicks me into gear to at least finish one song. Maybe not the entire album. I'm gonna work on it again this year, but it just kind of happens that way. And I would say like the highlights for me probably was the My Inferno EP from 2021, I think that was. And lowlights were probably the first two. Because the first one was like I did some song that was in Core Gadget. The only thing that was interesting about it was it kind of foretold the pandemic. I don't know how I managed to do that.
You are a prophet.
But other than that, like it's an early thing. Not early in the grand scheme of all the things that I've done, but I had been out of music for like 4 or 5 years, and I had just gotten back into it, and and then the second one was Pandemic Panic, which was a good song, but it reminds us of times we probably don't necessarily want to dwell too much on.
It is a little bit sad because Songtember kind of is also a beautiful time capsule of the times that we all spent in lockdown and in pandemics because it started in 2019 and then went through 2021, 2, 3, and now 4. So, when you look back on that, you're like, and I feel the same way about my first Songtember song called Hold On, because the chorus of that is hold on, because it's going to be a long, long time. And then people are like, Johns, this is your fault. You created this year's long pandemic with us all being locked down. And I'm like, I promise I didn't. So you and I are both evil witches and wizards.
We all had a sense something was cooking. But
something is brewing.
Yeah.
It might have been related to who was in the White House at the time. Anyway, I promised we wouldn't talk about that sort of thing here. Jade Star, what does Songtember mean to you? How's your history of Songtember been laid out?
It used to mean that I had a chance to actually make some music instead of teaching people stuff. But this year's a little bit different because I've changed the way I run the channel now. So I have more time to make music on the channel. and I'm doing pre-recorded tutorials. So I have more time to make more stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more interesting this year. I feel like I have more time, and there's going to be a lot more shows here on my channel showing the process pretty much every day of the whole month. Not every day, but yeah.
Most days.
Metheist for me, was a thing. It was something that came of me humming in a park, going ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. And here we are, like World Divided is one of my most streamed songs of all my music I've ever made. So that came from the pandemic as well. Everything else has just been a really poor attempt to try and cash in on the success of World Divided, and it's failed miserably. But that's okay.
So you're like the Knack. You just try to find that second one-hit wonder that you can make yourself feel good about.
Well, no, I jest, really, the way, what I try and look for every year for Songtember is try to push myself to do something completely different. Yeah. So again, this year I'm going to try something different again. Last year I did that Utensils Dread Circus song, which was, I think I tried to fit 20 different styles into a 4-minute song, and man, that was hard. But yeah, and this year I think I'm going jazz. So every year I try and push myself to do something totally off the wall, totally out of my wheelhouse. And, and I think the real excitement is just seeing, I don't care about my music anymore. I have to say, I don't give a shit. I love seeing other people, what they do. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people move forward. It's the most important thing to me in my journey in music these days. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, and that really is, and I know I like to use the word woo-woo because some people will say like, oh, you don't really mean that, but I really do mean that. When I first started this channel, it was all about helping people create, record, and release music, and yes, I'm absolutely blessed that I get to do this as a full-time job to help people create and record and release their best music, but I honestly believe that it's YouTube that we're on right now, and it's all about you folks and what you can do, and I was just sick of seeing so many people not creating music and hearing the stories of that one dickhead music teacher that told someone that they'd never amount to anything and they couldn't make their own music. And then they've stopped creating music. So it's been wonderful to see the number of people, not only young people that are just getting into music, but people that maybe used to play music and record music. And as you said, Jade, seeing those people grow and develop over the years and creating songs. And you hear what they created in like you and I did a show yesterday on your channel, and I went back into the archives and listened to songs from 2020, 21, 22, 23. And it's amazing. Like the same artist, I can hear and see the growth of these folks and the confidence in not only their music but themselves. Anyway, we'll talk more about that as we go through the show here. If you do have any questions, you can go ahead and put a Q in front. We will be interactive, so we've got some set things that we're going to talk about. We're going to play some songs as well from Jade and Tom from last year, so that you can get an idea of the sort of things that you can produce in Songtember. In fact, why don't we do that right now? Since Jade was just talking about her song from last year, would you like to give us a little intro into this one? This is your Songtember song from last year from your band Utensils. What's this all about, and how did it come about?
Sure. A lot of my music has callbacks to lots of things. So there's always a callback somewhere. So this is my project, one of my projects, Utensils. But the name of the song is my other band called Dread Circus. So there's a tie in there. And I had this little thing kicking around in GarageBand that had been sitting there for, 4 years. And it was just a bar of stuff. And I found it and went, man, this is pretty out there. So I decided to extend on it. And by extend on it, I mean, well, let's try and add some death metal, some funk, some jazz, some electronic music, 80s arcade music, and put it all into one song in 4 minutes. And it was tough, but it came out pretty good. I was definitely happy with it. Unfortunately, I was shooting a video clip for it, and that never happened because it was a big project. But that's getting close to being finished a year later. I know it is what it is, and you can say, oh, but you should. Man, life gets in the way. YouTube channel gets in the way, but yeah. I love this. I'm very proud of this one. So yeah.
As you should be, and I think as you said yesterday, you were trying to be Mr. Bunkle, and you'll probably never try and do it again. So this is like a once in a lifetime thing to put something of this level of complexity together. And the video is just off the wall. So and probably a warning if you've got kiddies around, they might get creeped out. They might not sleep for a week if you let them watch this next video. So maybe just turn the volume down for 5 minutes if you got anyone around that might be a little scared of clouds, perhaps. I'm going to hit this button here. I haven't used this system here in StreamYard before to play a video file from my own local thing, so anything could happen. So wish us luck, folks, and just give us some old metalhead hippie ones in the chat if this is coming through and sounding and working okay. And we'll be back in just a jiffy. This is Utensils and the Dread Circus.
Listen to me. I can make all your dreams come true. Listen to me. What do you say? Don't you fucking look at me. In the midst of your nightmares, hold my hand. Please don't be so scared. Don't you fucking look at me. Time to say goodbye. Laughing as I watch you cry. Now it's time for you to let me down. Round the merry-go-round. Don't make a sound. You won't be found. I'm just a you will not be found alive. Now it's time for you to die. Laughing as I watch you cry. Now it's time to say goodbye. Laughing as I end your life. Laughing as I stab you in the eye. I love hearing you cry. I love knowing you will die. Welcome to the Dread Circus. Round the merry-go-round, don't make a sound. You will not be found. I am just a clown, dancing on your pointless fucking grave.
Love the sound of breaking bones.
And the car driving over them.
Now it's time for you to die. Now it's time to say goodbye. Laughing as I take your life away.
Shut up! It's Daddy, you shithead. Where's my bourbon?
That new camera really captures the moment.
I know, the reds are so red. Really gets me hot.
I take pleasure in your fucking pain and sorrow. Nowhere to go. Feel my death blow. No tomorrow. Once again I sing this to you. Laughing as I watch you cry. Baby wants to fuck. You fuck! You fucking fucker! Now it's time for you to die. Laughing as I watch you cry. Now it's time to say goodbye. Welcome to the end of your shit life.
Jesus Christ.
Don't you fucking look at me!
Classic scenes from Blue Velvet there. Dennis Hopper screaming in the background.
That is a That is still one of the weirdest and most trippy songs. I meant it when I said at the start there, do make sure that if there's any kiddies around, don't let them watch that. My children would not be able to watch.
You wait till you see the actual real life version. Like, it's that, but in real life. Costumes, blood everywhere. It's coming to, it's looking really good. It's nearly finished. So,
Yeah. So Songtember 2023. Yes. So that was the Dread Circus from Jade, aka Utensils. We've got a couple of questions about it, no doubt, because that generates questions if nothing else. How did you make the video? What did you use for that particular version of the video, the lyric video there?
I used Kyber. So it's an AI generated thing. It was just really meant to be something to fill in just to get the song done. I made the artwork using a combination of Mid-Journey and my own artwork. So I like to use AI and my own stuff and put it together. So that was how the video was made. It was one continuous shot. So Kyber dot whatever it's called. So that's
AI, I think. Isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Kyber
AI.
Yeah.
Yes, very cool. And how long did it take? Asks Andy.
4 weeks. So there's a playlist on my channel with all the videos of each episode of me putting it together from day one right through to the end, and the video clips up there as well. So on my channel, if you look up Songtember 2023 playlist, you'll find all the videos put together and all the processes that went through, because that's what I do on the channel. Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of this, is that the reason that we got Jade on here and Tom on here is that, that Jade in particular shared every skerrick of her process, and it is very cool to see how that works. So if you ever wanted to work out how to make a ridiculously complicated song like that, you can go and check out Jade's channel and see, and quickly learn that you don't want to have any part of creating a song quite that complicated yourself. Hypnotic Transmissions. Will the three of you ever do a song together? Have we ever done anything together? I think, you know what? I think
Did we all work
example.
on that cover of I'm forgetting the name of it.
I think it was the Wright Brothers song, which sounds weird. I think it was You Lost That Love and Feeling that I did on a random GarageBand weekly show. And I was creating it at the time, and you two were in the chat, and I'm pretty sure I sent you the project, and you added some stuff.
Yes.
I'll try and find that as we go through, because I don't want to play my song. I've played my song choices a bunch, and you'll hear it so many times in the next couple of days as we talk about Songtember. But
we were also on Work in Progress.
That's true. Yes, we were all three on Work in Progress
Yes.
because, if you weren't around for that one 3 years ago now, I did a song called Work in Progress, and we had the Work in Progress choir that sang at the end. So we had a bunch of folks from the community, and that's kind of what's cool about this. We've seen this, and it kind of segues nicely into the next sort of thing we wanted to talk about. And we will hear from Tom about his song from Songtember in just a bit. But a lot more people seem to be collaborating a lot more, and I didn't really foresee this. This wasn't sort of my doing going in, but what we're finding is that people that don't have a vocalist or don't know how to sing are getting people to sing on their songs. People that don't have guitars are getting guitarists to record guitar tracks on their songs. People are coming together and collaborating on the entire end-to-end process of songs. I've heard from Jade. I've heard from folks like Coldacre, who's collaborating with other artists as well. Last year we had Wolfstone Studio and Tremor Bear. Yes, we had the wolf and the bear come together and create some kind of hideous wolf bear creature and create a very cool song. So a lot of people are collaborating. Have you two seen more of that, and what's been your experience over the last few years of folks helping other folks out?
Yeah, it seems like more and more each year, more people collaborate. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think Metalhead Hippie has a lot to do with it, because they really, especially in his community, they really encourage a lot of collaboration. But I think it just happens naturally too, because it's like you find out, wow, like Hugh Caldwell's really good at guitar, and like Jade Starr's really good at singing, and Pete's really good at playing guitar, and so it just happens,
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. And if you're not familiar, by the way, if we use things, if we say, I'm trying to because this is Songtember and because people are maybe not as familiar with all the things, I know I don't want any inside jokes for folks that are new to go, I don't know what any of these people are talking about. What's going on? What's a dread circus? What's a metalhead hippie? We'll explain things as we go through. So metalhead hippie is a wonderful man called Jeff who lives up in, I was going to say the Antarctic, not quite, he lives in Alaska, and he does live streams of people's music and his community. As you say, the amount of collaborations there, they've got like super bands and super groups that come together. And I blame Laurie's Mishmosh, who's here in the chat as well, because she's part of a lot of all of that. It is all your fault, Laurie. But yeah, go check out the Metalhead Hippie, because the cool thing is that a lot of the songs that we create here often then get shared to other places. So there's many places that are playing your music. There's this guy here who does a weekly show called You Rock, which again is not just for rock music. We've got the Metalhead Hippie who does the Metalhead Hippie show, which is not just for metal music. In fact, you two have terrible names for your songs, because you make it sound like you can only play this one genre, but you play all sorts of music from everyone's music. So there's plenty of places. Ron Ward, our mate Ron Ward, who I was thinking about the other day. Hello to you, Ron. I was having a nice Vietnamese meal and drinking a nice Viet beer and thinking of Ron Ward. He often does live music shows, and I know there's a heap of other folks. There's Chad Freeman. I'm gonna forget people, so I'm not gonna keep going with naming names. But the cool thing is that once you create a song, you can then put it out there to the world, and you can share it, and that to me is the kind of the best part of Songtember, is the sharing, the caring and the sharing, and putting your songs out there to the world. And so Jade, we were sort of talking collaborations. You've collaborated with me for the last 3 years by playing drums on my songs, and I know that you collaborate with folks in other ways, such as insert plug here, mastering some people's music, I believe.
Absolutely. And I'll put the call out now. So, folks, I have a Patreon, and I'm not just trying to get you to join to send me some money, but if you are going to release a song this year, consider sending me $1, joining my Patreon, because I master people's music. Join for a month. You got 4 weeks to get your song to me. I'll master it for you for $1, right? And it'll come up nice and polished. So I love doing that. A lot of the music you've probably heard throughout communities. I've Thomas, how do you do that? You're on stream. You're still putting links there too. You're a god, Thomas. You're a god.
Literally 5 letters.
Right. but if you'd like to do it, I'm more than happy to master your music and help it sound a little bit better. You've got 4 weeks to send in the tracks, and I don't just master it. I can give you. We got a good crew of people there on the Patreon, where if there's something wrong with it, you can get some honest feedback before it gets mastered and gets put out there. So it's $1, And if you don't want to continue afterwards, don't. But there you go. So that's something. And this year, look, it's one of the reasons I changed my channel a little bit and started moving to pre-recorded tutorials, because I want to collaborate more with people. I've been watching so many artists make music, and I'm a musician. I've been doing this for nearly 40 years, and this is why I started this channel. I feel like I'm left behind. So now I'm getting to make more music. I've just finished an Adam Burst cover. Rest in peace, Adam. And I'm working on another album which is finished. I'm doing a collaboration with my Songtember song this year. So I just want to work with some people as well to get into it. I've worked with Cold Acre, with Metheist in the past as well. Right. So, but yeah, collaborate, share your stuff, get feedback, do all that kind of stuff, because it does help. And don't wait and to release it and then wait for somebody to say something in the comments once it's finished, because it's too late then,
And again, that's a perfect segue into the fact that there are many, many places that you can share throughout the month. You can share right here on YouTube. So a lot of folks, look, I usually links get sort of held, but if you're working on a Songtember song, I'm in the comments all the time. So if you're linking out to your Songtember song and you want other people to go there and hear it and give you feedback, if it's on YouTube or wherever, you can actually just leave a comment in any of the Songtember videos that we do, because that's a good way to do it. There's Facebook. I know some people have their views on Facebook. Some people people, I'm going to say some people love it. Anyone that actually loves Facebook. Some people tolerate it and some people hate it. So if you are on the Facebooks, we've got the Create, Record, Release Facebook group. We've got Discord servers out the wazoo. So Jade has one, I have one, Thomas has one. There's so many different places that you can get hold of people. And I'm going to point you to the one-stop shop that I do all the time, which Thomas has probably got a link for there. But I'll put it up here as well, which is studiolivetoday.com/Songtember. Jade is being destroyed there. She's choking on her drink. But you can go here to studiolivetoday.com/Songtember. And right up the top here, this is the video playlist. So this will have everything, not just from my channel, but I'm trying to incorporate, like I won't be able to put every Jade Star video in there, but I put her introductory video we did yesterday. I'm over on Frank Terzo on the Community Pulse next week as well. So basically anywhere I'm out there whoring my Songtember message, I will make sure that it's in that playlist for you. And the other cool thing is you can have a look if you want to see what happened last year. You can check out last year's playlist. There's the Band Lab, the Facebook group, the Discord, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Facebook, and down here these are our friends of Songtember. Look who my two best friends are right up the top there. So you've got a heap of different ways that you can interact. And if you're a rules person, if you like to know all the rules and all the behind the scenes stuff, you can check out the what, how, and why of Songtember. And as you can see there, it is very, very small amount of stuff that you could do there. Let's talk, because I mentioned in there the Distro Kid, and I've talked about releasing your music and sharing your music. What are some of the ways that you've seen folks share music in the past? And I know Jade asked me this question, but like, do you have to release your music officially using Distro Kid? And of course, if you do, use one of our links. But where else? What are some other good places and ideas for sharing your music in different places?
You're asking me that.
I'm asking all of you that.
mp3.com.
mp3.com would be a great place.
It's amazing. You know, I still have a check from mp3.com for $1.
Wow.
I found it. It's in a frame. It was in my wardrobe. Anyway, Slaps. You've got what's that other place that has all those ads?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. That's what it is. SoundCloud. Yep. Good old Napster, of course. You know, we laugh, but Napster's still a place you can release your music from there. Look, YouTube. What's that other? There's another video streaming service. There's so many places that offer you to release music for free, and you don't have to pay for it and just put it up there. I think the thing about Songtember is we don't want people to get so wrapped up in, oh, do I have to release it on Apple Music and this and that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do that if that's not what you're after. There are places you can release it for free, and you know, YouTube is one of them. It doesn't have to be an official release. Just remember that. Like, nobody's like going to judge if it doesn't come out on all the places. MySpace, MySpace. What a great place that was.
MySpace still exists.
Yes, it's not very good.
I don't know if you can sign up for it anymore, but it's still there.
I did the same thing and looked the other day and tried to find my old MySpace. Couldn't log in. It wouldn't let me in, but it seems to have music on there.
Wayback Machine is your go to find your old MySpace.
Oh yeah. I found my old GeoCities page on the way back a couple of years ago. It was very embarrassing. It was disturbing.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Tom, got anything to add to that very, very long list of places you can share?
Well, I would say probably for me, number one, my very, very sorry. We love you, DistroKid. So let me just put that first, okay? We love DistroKid. We think DistroKid is fantastic, and you should definitely be part of it. Bandcamp, number one.
Yes. Very good.
I would probably say number two is YouTube. Because you can just put your song, I mean, like literally just put the cover art, go into, any, even iMovie, I'm sure it'd be easy to do. Put your cover art there, stretch it out for the length of the track, upload, export it, upload it, and there you go. And then number three would be SoundCloud, Slaps, things like that, and getting it out in the streaming services as well. Although that lacks a bit of you don't get the feedback. Because, I don't even know what happens in my songs. It goes out there, and I guess I could go into DistroKid, and there's stats in there, but I rarely ever look at them, and people can't comment or anything, so I.
Yeah, it's definitely there's sort of the two places. There's the two-way feedback places, and then there's the one way, the old way, which is just like you've printed a record or a CD and just thrown it out to the world, and then you never kind of hear back again, which is the traditional distribution model. And yeah, look, I think it's important to consider both. You don't have to do one or either, but yeah, if you want somewhere, I guess if you want somewhere to share at the end of the month, which we'll talk about towards the end of the show about what's going to happen at the end, like we haven't really talked about the process, and I'm going to get you two to both share and divulge what you are thinking for Songtember 2024 in just a moment. We are going to hear from Thomas and hear his Songtember 2023 track in just a moment, but I'm stealing an idea from a good friend of mine who likes to keep the lights on and pay the bills, and I have to do that too around here. As much as Songtember is a wonderful community event, yes, otherwise the lights are going to go out around here. So we're going to run a quick ad here on the YouTube. If you have YouTube Premium, you won't see it. If you do not have YouTube Premium, you're probably getting told what cryptocurrency you should be buying right now. And I'm sorry, we don't control the ads, unfortunately. Most of them are okay. Usually it's like Masterclass or some Skillshare or some sort of training related thing. But the other thing is the ads that are run on here on YouTube, they're more about you than they are about me. So it's attacking you and your browsing habits. So if you're getting the latest My Little Pony toy release, that's on you, fella. That ain't on me. Right, let's talk about Thomas Christ, and let's talk about your song. I must admit, because Thomas is such an absolute, he releases so much music. He is so creative, and he's got so many albums and songs and things coming out. I had all but forgotten about this song, which is kind of bad on me. But as soon as you set this through, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. This is what you did for Songtember last year. So if you can remember, Tom, tell us the story behind Death Toll.
Well, that was another one. I was working on an album. That album ultimately got scrapped. I think it was called Perfect Hell. It was originally supposed to be called Perfect Hell. And, last year was, not a great year for me. Like, lost my mom and stuff. A lot of bad stuff happened, and then just the state of the world and everything. And so I was writing some really depressing and electronically based music. Although I think Death Toll was more of just experimenting with creating an atmosphere and environment, and it doesn't really mean anything. There's no deep meaning behind that song, I don't think. It's just kind of meant to evoke some, some kind of visceral reaction one way or the other, and be, sort of odd and confrontational at the same time. And that one, I really loved the music video for it, though, because that was when LumaFusion started to allow you to use animated GIFs as sources. So I found the weirdest animated GIFs I could find and just put them all together. I was like, all right, here we go. Because I knew there was
that part of it. Yeah, I remember
Homer.
Very impressed with that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we'll hear a little bit more about the production process and how it went through the month and afterwards. But let's take a look and a listen, shall we? So this is Thomas Christ and his Songtember 2023 song called Death Toll here on the Songtember Launch Party.
Rock bottoms up the subliminal highway. Buckle in if you think you're heading my way. Existential crisis, it's a unforgettable. Paradise lost, this was never understandable. You'll be the banged if you bring a killer instinct. Just keep on pushing when we've got you up to the brink. There is a price to be paid, you better pay up. If you're still sleeping, consider this a wake up. You just don't care when it takes over your soul. Disaster squared, just a number in the death toll. Just a number in the death toll. Rolling sneakers and there's nothing to believe in. Mind open wide, but it's just letting the disease in. Picked up a stone in the self-selecting symbol draw. How do you plea on violating scientific law? Your bond matured, it's worth its full value of nothing. The ink is hatch reveals the plea that you're becoming. I'll be the dagger in the rock decomposition. The time is now to terminate the last transmission. You just don't care when it takes over your soul. Disaster squared, just a number in the death toll. Just a number in the death toll. There's no time like the future. You live your life in a stupor, starting to crack up automatic. Can you see death inside the static? This is realistic, nihilistic. It's kneeling ground to go ballistic. I chose to play among the blessed. Became the sin when you confessed it. Just don't care when it takes over your soul. Disaster squared, just a number in the death zone. You just don't care when it takes over your soul. Disaster squared, just a number in the death zone. Just a number in the death zone. Just a number in the death zone.
Too epic.
Thank you.
How cool is that? Like, yeah, I think as Coldacre said, really does actually look like a song from a band in the 90s, like that you'd actually see and hear on like Rage here in Australia or MTV back in the day.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very, very cool, very profound.
Well, you know I'm nothing if not a product of the 90s.
Aren't we all?
You're right down
Yeah.
to the beige 4x3 TV at the end was the end. It was perfectly wrapped up song. So yeah, a couple of folks were already asking questions about the tune. So you mentioned LumaFusion and bringing things in. So for the absolutely uninitiated, what is LumaFusion and how did you actually practically get all those together in there?
So, LumaFusion is a video editing piece of software. It is an app that you can buy for iPhone and for iPad, but it also, as luck would have it, it also works on the M series Macs. So I have a Mac M1. So I had been using LumaFusion for as long as, because I couldn't afford things like Final Cut as much as I would love to have that. I'd love to have, DaVinci Resolve probably is going to be too bloated for this machine because it only has 256 gigs of hard drive.
Who would ever buy a Mac with
Yeah.
that?
Who would ever buy?
All three of these suckers. Anyway.
So yeah,
Sorry.
Just using LumaFusion, it works a lot like those other programs, but it's a little more limited. You don't have as many video tracks that you can have. And I don't like the way it handles files. I'll be perfectly honest with you, that it duplicates everything you bring into it, which on a machine where there's limited space is really bad. But unfortunately, there's better options out now. But at the time, it was kind of like the only thing I had, and they allowed you to bring in the animated GIFs, which if you go and look online, there's all sorts of weird animated GIFs. I probably didn't even find a tenth of what's out there, but I got like 100 of them together, put them in a folder, and just kind of worked them in where I thought they would fit best within the song, and like a lot of the stuff that are effects, because LumaFusion doesn't have a lot of effects. It's like just literally laying one video over the other to create like some sort of a like a static effect or something. But
Well, it's very, very, very cool, and I know
Thank you.
you don't do enough behind the scenes stuff, because I know you've done a few sort of Fruity Loops, FL Studio. I just love calling it Fruity Loops, which you use for a lot of your music production, and you do some very cool things. So I think I'll speak for everyone when I say we would love to see more. And I know you are a very busy man as it is, but it's always cool to see your processes behind the scenes. So hopefully we see a little bit of that.
I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but I have some plans to do a little bit of that coming up here in Songtember. So
there you go. You've surprised 52-year-old Jade down here.
Glad to hear that. No, I love seeing Tom's process because he's very talented.
He is, and he does things differently to what you and I. All three of us do things very differently. Like, we use some of the same tools and we like some of the same music, but we have variety and variance, which is a good thing. Was it cathartic? Asked Joel Crouch to create such a song.
Like I told him in the chat, very, very. But that's kind of a thing with my music. So.
And that's the thing. Often it is about, like, music does a lot of different things, and I think when I was chatting with Jade yesterday over on her channel, we were talking about the fact that music can send a message, it can create a feeling, it can do a lot of different things. But you can really tell when something comes from the heart and soul, and you put your everything into it, because it really can make a difference. And even if you make a difference to like one person or two people or 10 people, none of us, I won't speak for everyone, but very few of us are out there looking to sell 1 million copies or get 1 billion streams. It may happen, and if it happens, great, more power to you. But
I'm not saying no. I'm definitely not saying no to that. I'm open.
If that's your goal going
Please,
in, you don't
knock on my door.
You don't get into the music business to make money, and if you do, you probably should go get a real job. I know I don't mean to be crushing people's hopes and dreams and spirits with that, but realistically, it is not the place to be. Hello to some folks who have joined us. We've got this lady here, who's a lady that we all know and love. Hello to you, Amelia. We've got Sean Chandler, who has joined us here in the chat. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Hypnotic Transmissions. I know. Could you make something that doesn't give me like that weird tingling in my spine and goosebumps? After every hypnotic.
That's a pinched nerve,
song.
Pete.
No, is it? It's because I've been sitting on this piano stool for a while. That's the problem.
You need a chair. You need a chair, mate. You need a chair.
I don't like chairs. I've gone off chairs. I'm a stool guy now.
Right.
Sounds creepy, doesn't it? So let's. We're going to sort of move in. We've talked about sort of what is Songtember and the starting process and creation process. We've heard your songs from last year, and you've shared a little bit about the insights and the inside scoop of what you did with those. Let's start talking about the present and the future, because it is either the 1st of September for me and Jade or the 31st of August for many of you at the moment. So you're about to drop the flag and go. So why don't we start with you, Jade, and then we'll get you, Tom, to tell us your plan, if you want to reveal however much, because I know, Jade, you like to keep a little mystery around your process, but what is your plan for Songtember, and kind of dovetail into some tips for other folks that might be kicking off their Songtember projects.
I had planned way in advance to work on a new Metheist EP. Because in the past, if you followed me, I don't like to just do one song. I like to put myself under ridiculous amounts of pressure. Yep. What have I done? So the Metheist EP was 3 songs. FMC was 7 songs in 4 weeks. That was crazy. Then we did a year I did Metheist and a utensil song. Last year was just the Dread Circus because that was 8 songs in one song.
Yep.
This year, I'm going to do a collaboration with somebody. Ooh. I'm going to write a lounge jazz song. And, I'm tying my dog to the railroad tracks. Choo-choo train, going to break his back. They used to call him Spot, yeah, but now he's called Splat. That's the kind of person I am. Anyway, no, that's not the song. But I'm going to do a duet with Viv Sparrow, and I'm writing a song for her. I'm writing a song not about her, but for her, and I'm going to write a jazz piece, jazz lounge and I'm striving to put in a key change because Rick Beato.
Because Rick Beato. Yeah, what's happened to music these days? It's all one chord, it's all one key. The chorus comes in after 10 seconds and it lasts 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
What happened to the days of 14-minute intros? Yes.
Absolutely.
Make sure you get my my Beato book. I got that one. It's on sale right now. You can get it for 75% off. You're definitely gonna want to have it. So make sure you click that link for that Beato book.
Yeah.
It's never not on sale.
It's
The false scarcity of the music. If we can just pause for a moment, the false scarcity of the music education business is just so funny. Anyway, never pay full price for a music production course, please.
I've never written a jazz song before either. Well, I've done little demos because I've done jazz apps like jazz drummer apps and stuff like that. So I have an idea, and I've sung with some jazz bands, and the current band I'm with that I'm about to do some gigs with, Phantom Panda Power Wizard Master Smasher, which has our first gig in November. There's a lot of jazz in that, a lot of death metal and jazz. It's all fusion together and ridiculous costumes and stuff. So, yeah, I've always wanted to do a lounge, and I love singing that stuff. So that's exciting, and I have no idea where to start. But guess what? You're all going to come with me, and we're going to see where it goes. And who knows? It could fail, and I could end up doing something else. And that's okay. That's the one thing I want to put it out there to people, because I have seen in the past, and it's happened to me as well during Songtember. You get into something, it's going okay, and then you go, you know what, this sucks. I'm going to change direction, and that's okay. Try not to let that discourage you, because I've seen people too. I think Dan Ekberg is one of those people who was putting together a song, and it was all going okay, and then it kind of got a bit lost, and then he came back at the end and went, I've got it happening. And you never know when, inspiration's going to come. You've got 4 weeks, and guess what? You don't really have to finish it by the end of the time. You could finish it a month later, and it's still going to have value, because this is just meant to be fun and to get you thinking about music, creating music, and it's not there's no punishment for not getting it done. So if you change course, sometimes it's the best thing to change course. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had Mike from Creative Source on a couple of weeks back, and he mentioned this, and I've mentioned it again since, which is that sometimes you think you're in control of the song, but the song's actually controlling you. And if the song is pulling you in a direction and you're resistant to that, it's probably because your original idea for the song is not the way that song wants to go. And I know we're anamorphizing songs here, but it kind of is that way, that sometimes you try and I really want this to be a rock song, and it wants to be a lounge song, and it's like, well, yeah, you can force it into that rock song mold, or you can just let it breathe and be what it wants to be. So,
and Mike's coming back on my channel not this Friday, next Friday. Yeah. And we're continuing on. We're talking about songwriting.
Ooh, that's
So-
very relevant, very poignant for
Yep.
for the Songtember.
We planned it
process.
that way, Pete.
Really? Oh, wow. It's almost like a plan coming together.
I'm a Virgo.
Thomas, what say you about your Songtember 2024 plans, dreams, hopes, and aspirations?
Well, again, it comes back to I've been probably for the last 2 months trying to work on a pretty it's a pretty dark concept album about things that are definitely not related at all to what's really happening in the world. But the thing is I've gotten 2 songs done for it. I'm really happy with those 2 songs. I actually got at the beginning of the summer because of my work schedule and stuff, I have more time from like July through the end of September. So I got my guitar, not only my one guitar that I had been using set up professionally, but I got the other one that I used for like my music back in 2006. Haven't played it in 10 years because it wasn't working right. I got that one fixed and I've been able to use that. So my plan is to continue to work on this album. I'd very much love to get it done by the end of September. I also know that that's very unlikely to happen. So it may end up, and this is what I've done in the past, it may just be one song from the album that will be created during the month of September. Now, as far as the channel part of it, as far as the I'm really personally not a big fan of creating music on live streams. First of all, because the way I work, like my ideal environment to create music would be just like put me in a room with just a computer with no lights on, dark, and I need to just like stew in a rage.
Start turning green and you close that room
and bleakness. So I don't really like to do it. I don't like the idea of people, because I feel like it kind of could distort the artistic vision if people are able to. Pete's really great, and he loves to incorporate the ideas from the chat. He works really well that way, and he's really made that part of his brand. But like for me, my music is very personal. I don't really like to allow much other influence into it, and I just don't. I don't even know that it would be necessarily that engaging content, but giving like a weekly update on what's happening, that's kind of my plan right now. And then at the end, we can go in and look at some of the tracks and whatever I've been able to create throughout the month, and then I can after it's been released, I can explain what I did and stuff in a way that's going to be. And these are going to be, I think, pre-recorded videos. I may do a kickoff live stream. I'm on the fence about that yet. which I would do tomorrow, so I have to figure it out. But but yeah, so it's going to be mostly pre-recorded and kind of just like give you a breakdown on where I'm at and what I'm thinking about and what's happening, and then at the end we'll break it down and make it something that hopefully people can glean some information from.
Awesome.
You're like me, Thomas. I go live. See, Pete's different. Pete gets up there and he says, "What do you guys think?" And you offer your suggestions, and he takes them on board. Me, I do a live stream and go, "This is how I do it. Don't tell me what to do, or I'll just ignore you." Like I'm not there to listen to people. That's the thing. We all have our different ways. I have an idea already in my head, and this is not a slight on anybody in the chat who comes and watches my process. It's not that I don't value your idea. But I have very focused and know what I want to do, and my process is trying to show you how to get bang, 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 nail it as fast as you, or not as fast, but as strong as you can, and have a confident idea and get through it. Where Pete's much more accommodating and will just let a random nickname that he's never seen in his life come in and go, "Hey, do this." I love it.
It's true, and it's not easy to do. It's taken me a while to really work out how to do that, because I've only been live streaming for a few years. Like, if you think my internet's bad now, you should have seen it 5 or 6 years ago, because live streaming was not even really an option for me on the old DSL connection I had. So and it is harder. And I think the one thing I will say about that, though, is if you watch carefully, if you watch closely, there's a lot of ideas that I do mention and do put in the song, and there's an awful lot that just, as we say here in Australia, go through to the keeper, because it I can't incorporate everyone's everything, and some people may have great ideas. And to be honest, the reason that I want to do that is that seeing my process of people throwing their ideas, quite often what I've said is, yeah, that's a great idea. I can't incorporate it in this song. You go make that. You go use that concept, that idea, someone will say, oh, you should put an arpeggio behind that rock song. And I'm just like, that works sometimes, but not all times. But hey, arpeggios are cool. Why don't you go create one? So yeah, it's not that I reject everyone's ideas and I'm not going to take it on board. But
No,
as
you're
you know,
kind.
if you try to please everyone, you're going to please absolutely no one, and you're definitely not going to do service to the song. So yeah,
I think too the benefit of it is if you are able to do it that way, where you're going to be more like interactive, it takes what is like a pretty tedious and pretty time consuming process, and does make it more engaging for the viewer. So I really appreciate that about what you do.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, because doing an hour-long stream about how to create a piece of album artwork is not exactly that engaging if I'm just doing it a lot of the time, because it's look, some of it like what Jade does, which is like the actual technical details of how you get it done in a particular platform. But for me, it's like, should we make the sky blue or green? And let's just give this but people get to kind of chat, and it's kind of cool because as we've seen in the live chat here and in the live chat on your streams as well, is that that sometimes it'll be all focused, and you're resonating with people when no one's saying anything. It's kind of weird. It's the reverse feedback you get, which is if someone's really focusing and into what you're talking about, quite often there won't be a lot of chatter. And then you see this random chat start happening about other things, and you're like, okay, well, I'm obviously off on a point and off on a tangent that people aren't interested in. But I kind of let that breathe these days as well, because I think one of the cool things about the parasocial relationships we have is that people get to have relationships with other people within the chat.
Yes.
And there's people that have never met in real life, that have never even seen each other's face, but they know that the little avatar and the little name of that person is kind of their friend now. And they don't know much about them except that they are cool and they make cool music, and people make friends and acquaintances that way, which is very cool, especially for card-carrying introverts like myself, and not to label you, Tom, but probably like you as well. We don't put ourselves out there a whole lot in the real world, so having a virtual community is a very cool and a very important thing to have. Hypnotic Transmissions has some nice words there. Taught me so much that I can't thank you enough. My early songs sound ad hoc. The mixes were awful, but isn't that good? Isn't it cool to have that time capsule of being able to see where you were and what you've improved upon and how you can do it? And as Jenny says here from the wonderful Wolfstone Studio, everyone's process is so different, and that's the thing. None of us are going to say to you, I do thing, you do thing exactly like me. This isn't school. You don't have to show you working out. It's not anything like that. You do it the way if I show you 10 things and you have one aha moment and adapt one of those things into your production, then I say win, because at least you've picked up something that maybe you wouldn't have thought of yourself. So that's a good thing. Hello to Paul O'Farrell, Wobbly Ashtray Records. Hello, Dynamite Throw. You're here just in time for us to wrap things up. So sorry you've missed the rest, but the good news is, like everything on the internet, nothing ever goes away. You cannot wash the dirt from your hands. It is there forever. So you can catch the full replay of the show if you would like to hear what my wonderful guests Jade and Tom had to say. I did find the song. I won't actually play it here because it's going to give us a content ID claim, and we probably don't need that today. But there it is. It's the You Lost That Loving Feeling. We did it in GarageBand.
Yeah.
It was a 2-hour song challenge that we did. So I'm just going to pop the link to this one here in the live chat, or if you just search Pete Johns YTL, whatever that is, YLTLF, You Lost That Loving Feeling.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, it was some acronym of like Y something. I can't remember.
Yeah. So
I need to go look that up. I can't even remember what it
I
sounds
can't remember.
like.
I think you did some screaming, and I think Thomas did some cool sort of industrial growling and stuff going on in there. So yeah, because it was a punk version of the Righteous Brothers classic that we did. So there you go. To answer the question that was asked before, yes, apparently 3 years ago, and this is again why you can never escape from anything on the internet. That 3 years ago that was the thing that we did. So there you go. We are at the end here, so we are going to ask my wonderful two guests for a little bit of their their advice for you, what their final parting thoughts are as we enter into another year, Songtember 2024. So, Tom, why don't we start with you? For folks that are doing this maybe for the first time or that are feeling a bit anxious or feeling a bit overwhelmed with what's going on, what's your pep talk for those folks?
I mean, what are you doing? Just do it. Just literally, like, open up your thing.
Tom just
Open up.
Just do it.
Come on, you can do this. No, but seriously, like, you can do it. You may, you're gonna struggle along the way. There's gonna be learning curves and stuff that's confusing, but ultimately, like, you're gonna watch, and especially if you watch Pete, you watch Jade, you watch Leela, you watch me, anybody that's out there that's doing this kind of thing, that's teaching you, you're gonna learn so much stuff, and you're gonna be able to find a way to do it. And, like, is it gonna be like, are you gonna create like Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody at the end? If it's your first time? Probably not. But you know what? You'll create something that you'll be proud of because you did it.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, exactly. Just sitting down and doing it can be a hurdle, but super excited to try. And that's the way you should approach this, is that I've always said that if you've done more on the 30th of September than you would have if you didn't try and do something, then you've already won. Like, you've already accomplished something. So not everyone will do everything that they set out to do, especially if your name is Jade Starr, because she usually sets out to do about 10 times more than anyone else would do. So, Jade, your pep talk, your final parting words of advice for folks this Songtember.
All right. Listen, I think we need to talk. Right. Just do it, right? I've been doing music for a long, long time, nearly 40 years, and it doesn't matter what level you are at. It does not matter if you are just starting out, if you've been doing it for 40 years. We all bleed, we all shit, and we all eat the same, and we all go through the same anxiety, and we all feel the pressure of everything around us when making music. But here's my number one. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it with your outside voice. Play it like you mean it. Play it like you're playing to 1 million people. Don't give a shit. Just don't care. Just expose yourself and be as open as possible to the possibilities of music, and just let it all out. And trust me, you'll come up with something cool. And you know what? In 5 years' time, you'll hate it. And the thing you release 5 years later will always be better. Just do it. It's Oj.
Yes, you will. You will indeed. Yeah, as you look back on what you've done, you will go, oh, there'll be some cringe moments, but
Yes.
you do need to just get on and do it. Hello, Keonra, who's joined us just at the end. What are you up to this year? Making a comeback for Songtember. Excellent stuff. Because Keonra was one of another creator who I didn't want to say until we knew that she was, but she shared a lot of her process last year. Yes, apparently. Did Joe tell us to eat shit? No.
Don't eat shit.
Don't do that.
Don't
That's
eat
pretty bad
shit.
for you.
That won't help you in any way,
No.
shape, or form. All right.
If you take one thing out of the last hour, that's the thing you need to go away with.
Don't eat shit.
And don't shit where you eat.
That's true. That's true.
That too.
Very, very cool stuff. Very quickly before we go, what am I doing? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out. But a couple of quick things. I'll be shifting up the times that I do live streams. So we'll be doing some evening live streaming throughout the month, because I know that our UK and European and Asian friends don't get to catch a lot of the live shows. So there'll be a mix and a match of morning and evening stuff. So wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to catch me live at some stage. And we'll be ending with a big Your Music live across 2 different parts again, so that everyone all around the world can have a YML show that they're going to be able to catch at the right time. And the final surprise that I have is that I am doing not one, but 2 songs this year, because Righty Doki are making a triumphant comeback
Yes.
to the world of music creation. So I am doing a Jade, and I'll be biting off more than I can chew this song.
Nice.
as Righty Turkey. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm taking my own advice because in previous years, because I do this 24/7, I've realized that there's been times where I've just had to step away for like 24 hours. And I just think that having a completely different artist like Righty Doki, which is my sort of secondary experimental, more electronic artist, is going to be a good way for me to have some downtime to step away from the song. Because when you spend 30 days doing just one thing, it can get pretty full on and intense. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Pete, and remember, because, remember now these days, look what I've done, Pete. I'm ready for drums this year.
For drums. So there you go. If anyone would like drums on their song.
No, not anyone. No. I'm your drummer, Pete. Not anyone. Relax, mate. Relax. What are you doing to me?
$1 a master and free drumming for everyone. That's what you can take away from this show.
Patreon.com/Jade Star. Head on over.
She's gone. Thank you again to everyone for being here. Thank you for everyone here in the live chat. If you're watching on the replay, because again, I know that not everyone can catch all the live shows. Hopefully you got some insights, some information, some inspiration ready for Songtember 2024. Thank you, Thomas. When will you be on the internet next doing some music stuff? Is it soon? Is it very soon?
Yeah, it's actually in less than an hour's time. I'm going to be recapping. I do a show called Thomas Christ Live, where I perform mostly my songs live, and I'm going to be recapping my Songtember songs. Unfortunately, today, my voice is not cooperating in the way that I would like, and so some things I'll be playing back the videos because, it's not happening today with some of them. The screaming and stuff is just not happening.
Yeah. And you need to protect your voice for a big month of creating. And Jade, will you be on an hour after that perhaps?
Come and join me for my birthday. I'll be singing some Songtember songs as well. And some original songs. Yeah, so we'll do some of those. We'll do some original songs, and I'm going to crack open a bottle of Dimple and get absolutely drunk with you all. So come along for the shenanigans. It'll be totally stupid.
And then you can hang around and heckle me as I play some acoustic versions of my Songtember songs from the last 5 years. So it's going to be a very cool afternoon, evening, or morning, depending where you are in the world of music, featuring these three clowns right here. So do join us for that. You'll be sent right over to Thomas Christ Live foyer. So we'll see you over there. Then Thomas can go and do a costume change and get himself prepped up and ready. So if you thought that this was all just talking and yammer, and you want to say, Leon, let's hear some of your music, folks, you got 3 hours of that coming your way in just a wee bit of time. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my friend Thomas Christ, my friend Jade Star.
Thank you.
And what do we say at the end of each every show around here, folks? Please be kind to yourself. Be kind
to each other.
Keep
creating.
There you go. All right, I'll see you next time, folks. Bye for now.
See you later.
Boom.